lead. After missing the playoffs each of the last 2 years, Golden State is now 1 win away from returning to the NBA Finals for the 6th time in 8 seasons. And according to Caesars Sportsbook, Golden State is the odds-on favorite now to win the championship, which of course makes a lot of sense. They only have to win one more game to get to the finals, where the other series is much earlier. So, JJ, when you look at Golden State, I mean, look, a couple years ago, you kind of felt like maybe it was like a last gasp situation for Steph Curry and this crew. How has this season and this postseason changed the way we should look at the Warriors going forward?
So much of this second window is based on them getting Andrew Wiggins, him being really solid at that small forward position, the development of Jordan Poole, going forward, the development of Kuminga, potentially Wiseman. That has extended this window. I think the interesting thing to just put in context for this season is the amount of injuries in the Western Conference. Of course, Kawhi missed the whole season. Paul George missed a lot of this season. Denver without their second and third best players. And then you look at the singular force teams, the Memphis with Ja Morant, Dallas with Luka Doncic. How do those teams build around their star players this offseason? That is sort of the question marks I have. Can the Warriors have a second window that lasts another 2 or 3 seasons? Absolutely. But there's a lot of question marks there.
I feel like you're getting out some like peak Clippers Western Conference angst from playing your prime with the Clippers in the loaded West. It's like that was your life. It's like this team over here, that team over here.
No, it was just the Warriors. It was just the Warriors.
It was also nice that we put up Mavericks plus 8,000 to win the title. That was polite of us.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Look, the Warriors always said, we want to be the next Spurs. We want to have a 20-year window where we're at the top of the league or near the top of the league. Their first playoff series win with Steph Curry when they beat the Nuggets in 2013 is 9 years ago now. They've put themselves into position to actually fulfill that goal of being the next Spurs. It's going to take a lot from their young guys because this first core is going to age out. But it is really interesting, as JJ said, it's almost 3 different windows now. You had the first iteration that won the title and then lost the finals. Then you have the weird Durant team that nobody really knows what to do with because they were invincible. And now you had that little 2-year blip, and now they're back. And as JJ said, it's Poole and it's Wiggins at age 27, in between the old guys and the young guys, that has become the bridge to whatever the next thing is going to be. It's really remarkable that they're here.
Kind of a perfect bridge, though. I mean, these young guys are playing with, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, who've done all this winning. That can only be beneficial for them, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the corollary here with the Spurs, of course, is, the big three. As they got older, Kawhi becoming a star player, Danny Green becoming such a valuable role player. You need to be able to draft well, get guys on the bargain, as the Miami Heat do over and over again. They do such a good job with player development. The organizations that can do that and have star players, those are the organizations that have extended runs.
Of course, Curry been the star there for so long. We mentioned earlier he's 34. I mean, I don't know how much time he's got left, but another championship this year. What does that do for him and his status in the pantheon?
First of all, the Heat and the Celtics would like us to just hit the brakes a little bit.
Maybe
the Mavericks.
I hit the brakes 32 minutes ago, very early in the show. I just want to be clear on that.
Let's have them win it first. I'm already getting the shakes about will Steph Curry finally win his Finals MVP discussion and round out his career? That's going to take over the airwaves. Look, what would it mean? I don't think Steph needs anything. Steph is already an all-time great player. Would it help? Would it vault him a couple of spots up? Once you get in that pantheon, every little thing helps. But the guy's incredible. And by the way, 34, he looks... He's a little different than he was when he was 27. He still looks incredible. He's a complete unstoppable force, unlike any other in the NBA, with no signs of really slowing down.
Yeah, absolutely. Does he have what he needs to pull? I mean, you said you like the Eastern team. You said regardless, but I mean, this is a guy who can take over.
Let's be clear, health dependent. I mean, if the Heat win without Jimmy Butler, I don't think they beat the Warriors. And you need Marcus Smart for the Celtics to be at full strength. I think he's been their most important player throughout this playoffs, and particularly in this series against the Heat. The Warriors can absolutely win the championship. There's a system that they play, and again, it's all centered on Steph Curry, the threat of his shot, the movement they get to score in the paint, him playing out of double teams. They've absolutely destroyed Dallas every time they've double teamed him in this series. To Zach's point and the point about Steph, look, Steph is already one of, I believe, the top 10 or 12 greatest players ever. He's already in that pantheon. Would another championship move him up? Probably. But I don't know that, it would probably take 2 Finals MVPs, 2 more championships for him to be in that conversation with, Michael Jordan and all those other top 5 players.
All right, Warriors 1 win away from claiming the Western Conference title. Let's move toward the other end of the spectrum a little bit and talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. Check out this tweet from our Adrian Wojnarowski. This has to do with the Lakers coaching search. Michigan coach Juwan Howard recently declined a Los Angeles Lakers overture on the franchise's head coaching job. Howard is coaching his 2 sons, Jace and Jet, in Ann Arbor. Howard played at Michigan with Lakers GM Rob Pelinka and with LeBron James in Miami, but is not interested in joining the Lakers. What does that say to you, Zach, about this Lakers job?
I think maybe it says Juwan Howard is loving life being the head coach of Michigan and coaching his sons. I mean, I don't know that I would want to leave that job to go coach the Lakers, given how much drama and infighting and all that there's been there. But maybe it's just about Michigan. Maybe it's not really about the Lakers.
Yeah, I agree with Zach on that because, Juwan obviously played at Michigan. The opportunity, my sons are getting into basketball, so I understand the appeal of being able to coach your sons. But he's got a long window. He could have a very long tenure there at Michigan and basically be able to choose any job that he wants in the NBA at the right time. It doesn't seem like the timing is right now. Not only with where he is with Michigan coaching his sons, but also the timing of this Lakers job. I'm not sure this is the time that you want to take this Lakers job. Until they start building their team like every other team in the NBA does in modern NBA, I don't think this is a good job.
Why do we think that's going to happen with the Lakers?
It's not. It's not.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
That was kind of the point I was trying to get at, right? Because this isn't just an NBA job. It's the Los Angeles Lakers. It's as prestigious a job as there is maybe, one of the most prestigious jobs in all of sports. So it definitely says something about where they are right now in their history that it's not a job that you would jump at.
Yeah, I don't think they have the young players. We talked about the bridge with the Warriors. They don't have the young players that can bridge sort of any decline with LeBron James. The roster fits not great right now. I'm not sure you can build a championship contender with the current roster and their current cap situation. They don't really have draft picks going forward. I don't think they can trade a draft pick till 2027. So there's just not a lot in the short term or the long term to be really excited about this job.
I do look at this, so I feel like this whole discussion is going to become unfair to Terry Stotts and Darvin Ham and Kenny Atkinson because we're going to frame this as, the Lakers can't attract these coaches. Those guys are all really good coaches who will have their picks of other jobs down the line. And the other thing on the Lakers, I think we're all getting too low on Anthony Davis. I think that's the player that I'm most interested in their team next season. It reminds me of Paul George after the bubble when he kind of became an object of derision and people forgot how good this guy is. I'm expecting a huge year from Anthony Davis next year, and I think people are just getting too low.
Well, it's because we barely saw him this year, right? That's the thing, right? Like Anthony Davis, if he can he still be that guy that they need him to be?
Well, he can. The reason people are low on Anthony Davis is because he was very inefficient as a jump shooter this year, and he was hurt for most of the season. And on top of that, they lost. And some of that, I think, is the spacing issues that they had. Some of that is the ancillary pieces around that. So if they can build a roster that sort of fits around LeBron and Anthony Davis like they had in 2020, we could see peak Anthony Davis again. He's young enough that he can get back to that form.
There's talent. Like you talk about, we showed those 3 finalists that Woj has reported for the Lakers head coaching job. One of them will inherit a team with some talent, but to the point we were making before, it's more than just a head coach that they need.
Well, and just like you just said, like the team they had that won the championship, they could have just kept that team. Nobody made them break up that team. They had it. They could have just kept it.
Nobody? Or was that something that happened internally?
No, nobody. They just